the sturdy hell demon received orders to kill its way out. Thus, it naturally would not spare the principal just because she was Lu Fan's acquaintance. As a fallen corpse puppet, it did not possess such level of intelligence. Thus, how could it possibly compare to the wise principal? From the current situation and the recent news, she had already guessed that Lu Fan was not in as much danger as she thought. Instead, he had become a headache for Extremistis country. The principal naturally did not wish to fight against Lu Fan's summons. So, after exchanging one move with the sturdy hell demon, she drew her spear and formed a transport array. The sturdy hell demon steadied itself and leaped up to attack the principal. However, by then, the principal had already stepped into the transport array and disappeared. The sturdy hell demon missed its attack and let out a roar. Still, it was not one to dwell on its escaped prey. It just continued ravaging Southwest Town with its army. The principal was transported to an open space about 10 kilometers away from Southwest Town. Without delay, she moved around the town and continued toward the Divine Bone Forest. Though she had confirmed Lu Fan was very likely to be safe, she was still worried Lu Fan might do something too extreme and provoke some formidable existence. After all, this was a country that had stood in this world for many years. It surely did not rely on just these visible forces. Hidden in the shadows, there were certainly other powers hidden from sight. In fact, truth of the matter was, the Jin family were merely puppets. Offending them was not a major concern. However, if Lu Fan offended some of these powers lurking in the shadows, it would be too dangerous for him at his current level. Even with many giant dragons by his side, it was not enough. Well, the Southwest Town was just one of many frontier towns of Extremistis country. The fallen corpse puppet army had split up and took multiple routes, charging out from the wilderness where the Divine Bone Forest was located. After a day of constant march, they had found many towns and had launched attacks on every single one of them. All the military camps stationed at the borders, in their paths, suffered the same fate. The casualties in these military camps were far worse than in the actual towns. So far, 3 camps had been completely destroyed, with casualties among soldiers exceeding 10,000. This news quickly spread throughout Extremistis country, causing widespread panic among countless people. It was as if they were returning to the era when the 9 hell demons had first appeared. Moreover, the public panic was even greater this time because back then, the 5 national guardians could suppress the 9 hell demons. However, now, news was spreading that the 5 national guardians were among those attacking the towns. The 9 hell demons and the 5 national guardians were causing havoc together. How was Extremistis country going to respond to this? Furthermore, there was an even bigger question being discussed throughout Extremistis country. How did the 9 hell demons escape? Were they not killed by the 5 national guardians decades ago? The 5 national guardians were revered as heroes in Extremistis country because they had defeated the 9 hell demons. Was that all a lie? Was everything from back then just some conspiracy between the 5 national guardians and the 9 hell demons? Once these theories emerged, they spread uncontrollably. This was precisely why the families and close associates of the 5 national guardians were detained for questioning. Naturally, the prestige these 5 had accumulated over the many years had vanished in a single day. Jin Zion, who was in the capital, was quick to realize that something was awfully wrong. His men, who had returned from the Death Desert Ocean, reported that the God Slayer and God Destroyer legions were completely annihilated, with no survivors. As for Lu Fan and the 5 national guardians, there was no trace of them. Learning of the situation and seeing the 9 hell demons' army rampaging from the borders of Divine Bone Forest, Jin Zion immediately knew that his older brother had fallen victim to Lu Fan. Moreover, Lu Fan's revenge came very quickly. It had even thrown all of Extremistis country into a huge crisis. Combined with public doubts, Jin Zion faced both internal and external troubles. In just one day, most of his hair had turned white. At this point, He could only try to control the domestic public opinion while offering hefty rewards to recruit strong players from extremistic country. He was now hoping a new 5 national guardians would emerge and deal with the current 9 hell demons crisis. While Jin Zion was like an ant on a burning wok, Lu Fan and his group were calm. Originally, Lu Fan was very worried about Gu Han's situation. However, after a day and a half of searching, although they still had not found Gu Han's whereabouts, Lu Fan discovered that she must have cleverly found a safe place to hide. Her position had not moved for a long time. It was clear that she was not dead, which gave Lu Fan some peace of mind. Thus, he could now calmly explore the Divine Bone Forest, searching for Gu Han's location. With a flash of golden light, Bao Bao leveled up again. The Divine Bone Forest had many high-level monsters, so although the group's progress was slow, it provided an abundance of experience points. Bao Bao had been gaining experience points continuously and had finally reached level 10. To Lu Fan's surprise, when Bao Bao reached level 10, he underwent massive changes. His body suddenly grew larger, and the lightning covering his body thundered even louder. Ang! Accompanied by a clear but cute dragon roar, a purplish-red lightning bolt suddenly appeared in the clear sky, striking directly at Bao Bao. This unexpected change caught everyone by surprise, drawing their attention to Bao Bao. This purplish, red lightning did not disappear instantly but remained, frantically ravaging Bao Bao's body as if reforging his body to control an even stronger power. Everyone, including Lu Fan, stared dumbfounded until 10 minutes later when the lightning gradually dissipated. By then, Bao Bao's body was completely different from before. Besides looking more like an adult giant dragon, the blue-purple lightning on his body had also changed. It had become the same purplish, red as the lightning that had struck from the sky. In fact, not only was the lightning color different, but its power, compared to before, was also worlds apart. Bao Bao's appearance was already impressive, and now covered in this purplish, red lightning. He looked even more majestic and domineering. Bao Bao could feel the tremendous power flowing through his body. He lowered himself to the ground and raised his head to roar once more. He now clearly sought more targets to try out his newfound power. In fact, he was even asking Lu Fan to find him some enemies. "This!" Hanqi exclaimed in amazement. "Fanner, what happened to Bao Bao? Has he entered his growth period?" "Should be." Lu Fan came to his senses and nodded. "Yup. Bao Bao has definitely entered his growth period." Tao Xiaoman puzzledly asked, "But don't your pet dragons enter their growth period at level 15? "Bao Bao just reached level 10, isn't that too early?" Lu Fan could not help but laugh as he explained. "Well, they don't all enter their growth period at level 15. In fact, Xiao Ye also entered her growth period at level 10. Perhaps different dragon species have slightly different growth cycles. Xiao Ye and Bao Bao enter their growth period earlier, while Xing Chen and Xiao Ku take longer." After Lu Fan's explanation, everyone felt relieved. Then, Lu Fan opened Bao Bao's attribute panel to see if this dragon had truly entered his growth period and what changes had occurred to his attributes. Blue Dragon King, Wrath of the Storm, the baby dragon form, level 10, gender male, strength of 501, agility 738, amena 4107, endurance of 7 done skills. Blue Dragon Skin, passive, LV theory, have the naturally tough skin of the Blue Dragon clan. Power of any attack blocked by its skin is reduced by 70%. Blue Dragon Bloodline, passive LV maxed, having the bloodline of the Blue Dragon clan, has extremely strong immunity to negative status effects and can negate all debuffs. Blue Dragon Physique, passive, LV3, having the Blue Dragon clan physique, which is made for battle, increasing self-healing and stamina recovery by 700%. Lightning Spring, passive, LV max, Blue Dragons possess bodies most suited for casting dragon language magic. Endless magic power flows within them, allowing them to freely cast any dragon language magic without rest. Roaring Thunder active skill, LV30, breathes out dragon breath forward, releasing a lightning strike that forms a lightning pool, causes terrifying damage and puts enemies in a paralyzed state. Heaven's Punishment, active skill. LV3 locks onto an enemy unit, bringing down divine punishment. Deals devastating damage that cannot be dodged! Chain Lightning, active skill. LV2 release a lightning bolt that can jump between multiple enemies, causing chain damage. Damage will increase by 30% for each jump, up to 10 jumps. When used on a single target, the lightning bolt can jump between Blue Dragon King Wrath of the Storm and the enemy, with damage increasing by 60% per jump. Lightning's Favor, passive, LV1. The Blue Dragon King, while in growth period, gains Lightning's Favor. This allows them to be able to control more powerful lightning. Current lightning power, Crimson Jade effect skill power increased by 50%. Each skill release creates a lightning boundary to a certain range. Enemies within the lightning boundary take additional damage when they move. The closer they move to the center, the more lightning boundary gets triggered, increasing the damage taken. Form transformations active. LV maxed Starry Sky dragons in their growth period can transform into different forms. Currently available forms are Infant Form, Battle Form, and World Destroyer Lightning Form. Form's Infant Form body shrinks, reducing energy consumption. Battle Form Normal Combat Form. World Destroyer Lightning Form mana attribute increases 5-fold. Gains new skill World Destroying Heavenly Lightning. World Destroying Heavenly Lightning, active, skill LV1, a dragon language forbidden spell. The Blue Dragon King will transform into the Lightning Dragon God, bringing down world-destroying lightning tribulation. Under this tribulation, nothing survives! Looking at Bao Bao's current attribute panel, Lu Fan was incredibly shocked despite being mentally prepared. Compared to when Xiao Ye was level 10, Bao Bao's mana attribute was 4 times higher. However, since Bao Bao was a pet dragon that specializes in magic attack, such extraordinary mana attribute was understandable. The shock came in more because after entering his growth period, Bao Bao's attribute panel was completely different from his 3 sisters. Pet dragons like Xiao Ye all unlock 2 forms upon entering their growth period, with each form having their own characteristics. However, Bao Bao only had 1 form, though he gained a skill that none of the other dragons had Lightning's Favor. After checking this skill's description, Lu Fan understood that this passive skill represented a path for Bao Bao's further growth. As Lightning's Favor levels up, the lightning power he could control would change, along with the additional traits of his lightning. For example, Bao Bao's current lightning has a power called Crimson Jade, which increases his skill power by 50% while also creating a lightning boundary. So while Bao Bao had 1 fewer form, through Lightning's Favor, he might have gained even greater potential than that of his sisters. After all, form transformation only changed attributes and skill characteristics, while Lightning's Favor was a direct enhancement to Bao Bao's combat power. It was a versatile growth-type skill. Lu Fan wondered about the effects of Crimson Jade's lightning, and what other lightning powers Bao Bao would control as Lightning's Favor leveled up. Because of Lightning's Favor, Lu Fan had high expectations for Bao Bao's future power. Besides this growth-type skill, what excited Lu Fan most was Bao Bao's new form, World Destroyer Lightning Form. In this form, Bao Bao's mana attribute would increase 5-fold. Unlike Xing Chen's Starlight form, which only lasted for 1 minute, Bao Bao's World Destroyer Lightning form had no time limit. So, in future battles, Bao Bao's fighting style would be as simple and direct as his personality, no need to consider switching forms. Just transform straight into his World Destroyer Lightning form and start wreaking havoc. If skill power was not enough, Bao Bao had also learned a skill called World Destroying Heavenly Lightning in his World Destroyer Lightning form. Just from the name and description of this skill, one could tell it was extraordinary. Its power might even exceed Xing Chen's Starlight Annihilation. With this, Bao Bao's reputation as a nuke was further cemented. Looking at Bao Bao's attribute panel, Lu Fan could not help but smile. Others naturally saw Lu Fan's smile and guessed Bao Bao's attributes must be incredible. However, They were tactful enough not to ask about Bao Bao's current attributes and skills. After all, these were Lu Fan's trump cards. The fewer people knew, the better. This included the four of them. Though Lu Fan did not want to expose Bao Bao's current skills and attributes, he was very interested in testing the effects of Crimson Jade Lightning. Not just Lu Fan Bao Bao, this battle-loving boy nearly jumped up grunting in place. He was clearly indicating to Lu Fan, "Father, I'm super powerful now, I need to fight some monsters!" Just then, Xiao Yi, at the side, gave a low warning cry. She sensed monsters approaching. Lu Fan thought this was just perfect. Having the Black Dragon perception passive himself, he naturally knew the direction and number of the approaching enemies. Lu Fan looked in one direction and sure enough, accompanied by whistling sounds through the air, the Divine Bone Forest's unique monsters had arrived.